Hi, this is Kat, and you're watching Triple Threat Sports.
Let me ask you a question here. Has anyone under the age of say 40, has anyone gotten into a conversation with an older person about baseball and come across something like this? Well, ball players back in my day were better. The game was pure. The game was better played. The players cared more. The fans were more passionate. Yada, yada, yada. Just to analyze this phenomenon, the golden age of baseball has passed. Babe Ruth was the golden age. Lou Gehrig was the golden age. Stan Musial was the golden age. Albert Pujols, Miguel Cabrera, these guys aren't the same. The game has changed. I'm sure we've all heard that sort of logic, haven't we? Let's look at the facts now, here in the year 2013. Just this past week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I should say, in the past 14 days, was a period of international signings in baseball, which is soon to actually, in the next couple of years, it's a good bet there'll be a draft internationally. It's the same way hockey does and the same way basketball does. Pretty soon, MLB will be joining every country in the world that plays baseball. Back in when Babe Ruth played, back when Stan Musial played, back when Joe DiMaggio played, well, guess what? The talent level was much smaller. To begin with, African American players couldn't even play then. There were no Hispanic Americans playing. There was no international signing period. Today's players play against a much larger talent pool, which means, obviously, the game is better played. More talent, larger talent pool, better game. Second, you might have heard something that said, well, there hasn't been a 400 hitter since Ted Williams back in 1941. 41, yeah, 41. Yeah, that. Oh, look, there hasn't been, the game has declined. Well, first of all, there haven't been that many 400 hitting seasons in baseball history. Ty Cobb had 3. Roger Hornsby had a couple. Ted Williams was the last one. There weren't too many. Guys back then, never guy hit 400 back then. But the more important thing is that does not show a game decline. That shows a game that's better played. Today's players have better equipment. Gloves are bigger. Gloves are more efficient. Gloves allow people to more hits than they used to. Defensive positioning. Today the game is studied scientifically and digitally even. Players know where to play defense now. It's gotten more efficient. Better pitching staffs. Better relief pitches. This shows the fact that no one has hit 400 in so long shows the game being played more efficiently. Not a decline, but an advance. And we can thank the late great Stephen Jay Gould, the great scientist, for that insight. Third, we have more teams now. Some people would say, well, that dilutes talent. Nonsense. Given that the talent level is so large, it only brings more talent to the game. The point being is that if one wants to say that any age in baseball is the golden age, that age is today. It's not 70 years ago. It's not in the days of Babe Ruth. It's not in the days of Stan Musial. In addition, another reason why no one has hit 400 in so long is that, again, the talent level is greater. The difference between, say, a Ted Williams and the average player, the non-superstar player, back in his day, was much greater. Ted Williams was much more greater than the average player in his day than, say, Miguel Cabrera is today. So-called average players have gotten better. Often, in that vein, you'll hear football enthusiasts, and I love football myself, say, well, football has more parity than baseball. But if you look at it, the last 10 seasons, baseball had 13 teams competing in the World Series. Football had 14 teams competing in the Super Bowls. Again, roughly 43%. There's parity in baseball. More parity now than there probably ever was. Certainly comparable to any era. And more parity than most eras. This is the golden age. And at that point, often you would hear, even from baseball writers, very defensive about the popularity of football. Look, there's no question that football is the most popular sport in our country. If you take the NFL is the most popular sports league probably in the world. At least as far as, its popularity within one country. If you combine college football, which arguably could be the second most popular sport in the country. Alright, football more popular than baseball, but guess what? It doesn't matter. You can love two sports. You can love one sport. It doesn't matter what the popularity overall of any sport. Baseball today is in a golden age. Enjoy it. And I'll make one further point. Next time you hear an old man saying, well, baseball in my day, these players today, you people today, you don't know what you're talking about. Guess what? Tell him, at the end of the day, every age in baseball is the golden age. We should all enjoy it and root for the home team. Thank you.